I tell you a crazy story. And if you're a loan officer or realtor, I know you've got one of these, so let's see if you can story top me. The late 90s, I'm still kind of new to taking loan apps. I'm at a new company and this guy comes in, because in those days, people would just walk in if they needed a mortgage. He sits down and right away he's super nervous and he hands me this piece of paper. It's a death certificate. I'm like, who's this? It's the wife. And as I find out later, you can't get a death certificate without a body until after 5 years. So I'm pretty nervous right away. He leaves, and I'm thinking, God, wow, that was just very bizarre. Jody, who I'm getting to know in the office, comes in and she's like, was that Ricky? I'm like, yeah, why? She's like, he killed his wife. We know he did it. I'm like, well, here's a death certificate. So we pour through it, and we're like, oh my God, this is crazy. So again, late 90s, right? People would bring in their paperwork, hand it to you, go to the copier and give it back to him. So he came in a couple times, and every time he came in, I couldn't keep it together. One of those days later, I get a phone call, and it's the girlfriend. Was Ricky in there? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, let me tell you what. I need to be on title of that property because I know things. I was like, oh my God, she knows. So to shorten the story, we get to closing, which was bizarre because we're all in the room. It was crazy. I think even the title person knew. Everything felt off, right? So I'm like, I did a loan for a murderer. So 20 years later, I'm reading the Baltimore Sun, and the headline reads something like, man finally found for killing his wife 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, that's gotta be Ricky. Sure enough, a homicide detective never gave up and noticed one day that the new girlfriend who became a wife filed for separation or divorce, whatever. So he calls her up and must have said, you mind if I stop by the property now? I'm sure she was like, you can come by now. So he goes around back where apparently, I guess everyone knew that part too, goes right around to the shed where a slab was poured, and he found the wife. So sure enough, he's caught, and he's now serving 30 years, I believe, for killing his wife. So yes, I did a loan application for a murderer. Can you top it?